Tip 5, know your audience. Very important. I believe there's probably about 4 different areas of audience that you should be aiming for that's relative to a school documentary. And that is, you have your pupils, your parents, your public, and your peers. And all of these people are important for different reasons. When it comes to your pupils, you could be using these videos as a stimulus to get them to think about new ideas. You could get them to use it as resources. So perhaps this is a resource for a student to go on and plan another project down the track that's similar. Reflection is really important. Reflection and evidence go together. Reflecting on a project is actually a really effective way for students to go back through and really look at what it was they did. Once they've done the project and they reflect back, they can say, yeah, well, we did a really good job of that. Evidence for anyone doing VCAL, video evidence is absolutely crucial, I believe. And of course for students, you've always got the fun factor, which is you shouldn't discount as well. For a parent, you could be looking at newsletters, reporting to a parent on what's actually going on. It's always effective to actually show that person's son or daughter doing something. Presentation evenings, videos are really important for that. And information nights, I find that is the most effective use of these videos. It's fine for me to go up and talk about it all day long, but unless they're seeing it in action, they're not really getting the message. So the general public, you might be talking about a community project that taps into some sort of community organisation or community group. You could be using it as promotion for the school. And let's face it, all this stuff actually leads into marketing value for your school. And we shouldn't shy away from that because, ultimately, we do want to show off all the great things that we do. Social awareness, you might have a project that you're looking at that you want to document in order to raise awareness about a particular issue, and funding shouldn't be dismissed. If you want to go and get some funding for a particular project from an outside body, if you've got a document of something you've already done, it can be a very effective way of showing that you have what it takes to deliver the project that you're proposing someone gives you money for. Your peers could be the most important group here. Professional development, what we're doing today. You go to a professional development seminar, what's the thing that you want to get out of it? You want to network with people and get ideas from people. This is just another way of sharing those ideas. Going online, looking at something someone else has done, okay, maybe it didn't work. Maybe it wasn't a successful project. How could it have been done differently? The documentation of it is still valid, even if the project didn't quite get over the line, because the challenges that people are involved in, the things that do go wrong, are just as valuable sometimes as the things that go right. Tip 6 is to delegate tasks. Now this is really important. A group of students will have good technical skills, a lot of them. Not all of them, okay? We always assume that they're all great at technology. Not all of them are, but you may have a cohort within your group who are very, very good at it and take to it very well, who might not want to get involved in your project, but are happy to document it. They're the ones you should definitely be tapping into. What are the different areas they could cover? Well, there's script writing. So that could be commentary as you go along, or it could be a reflection after the stage of the project or the entire project has been done. Narration, so having someone actually talk into a microphone. You might have more extroverted students that want to talk to the camera about what they're doing, or they might just want to record their voices. Technicians are probably the most important students you're going to tap into, because if you start working with video files and photos, they're going to need to be stored. File storage is actually really important, because if you're collecting up all this stuff over a year's project, it is quite difficult to keep track of what's going on. So having a student in charge of that, that's actually really good with transferring files and storing them and archiving them, is a really good person to have on your team. And of course, audio. Being able to record decent audio, all their phones will do it. It's not a difficult thing to do, but having someone in charge of it is really quite helpful. Obviously, you would have a photographer or videographer. Most students will be involved in this. I don't come across many that don't like taking photos or video. Editing, not everyone's cup of tea. It is probably the most difficult job of all, but you may have a student there that actually gets involved in that. And of course, the one that is the most underrated and underutilised is the titles. If you've got a student in your group who's really arts and crafty, they can create titles. You don't have to use the titles that are in the editing software. You can actually build titles. You can get someone to do a piece of art that is the title. And that is a valid job to have, because often those things you can use for not just the titles and the credits, but also for some of the narration as well. So they're just a list of some basic tasks that can be delegated to students.